In this lesson, I want to talk about collision detection in SOLIDWORKS. So let's go ahead and open from your SOLIDWORKS 2013 Advanced Working Files folder for Chapter 7. Let's open the collision assembly. Now here we've really just repurposed the rack and pinion assembly. Collision detection is only available through the Move Component tool or the Rotate component. But in this case, we're just going to use Move Component. Collision detection is an option available in the Property Manager. And what it does is when you move one component and it runs into another, SOLIDWORKS will highlight the faces and will make a sound. There's another option that comes with collision detection, and that's physical dynamics. Physical dynamics will allow one part to push another, so that when they collide, if the other part has open degrees of freedom, it will move as well. So physical dynamics does not have anything to do with momentum or other types of values you associate with dynamics, but it does involve center of gravity for parts if they are not fully constrained. For example, you could do billiard balls on a plane, but it would not involve any sort of momentum transfer. The performance of physical dynamics and collision detection on small assemblies is pretty good. You can see that with this very simple example, the performance is definitely acceptable. When you get into larger assemblies, the performance will not be as good. So there are several ways that you can limit the number of parts that SOLIDWORKS is detecting collisions between. You can use the setting for these components, which allows you to select the components that you want to detect collision between and then resume drag to start pushing the parts around the screen. You can also use the option for the dragged part only. And further, there's a sensitivity option where you can minimize or maximize the sensitivity. This has primarily to do with curved parts or situations where you have small parts running into large parts. If you're just using collision detection, then you can also use the Stop at Collision option, so that when this part runs into another, it just stops. It won't push the other, but it won't go through it either. That option is off. The parts will interfere, but you still get the ding when they collide. Dynamic clearance is another option that you can use associated with collision detection. You can select these two parts and resume drag. Then as I move this part, I get a number in parentheses showing the minimum distance between these two parts. Ignore complex surfaces is another setting that you can use to improve performance on parts with a lot of curvature or with spline type shapes.